Hi, this is Gary Goodwin, founder of the Armchair Dreamer, and welcome. Today we continue building out our imagery library. It's important to have imagery that we can turn to because imagery is a shorthand that runs very deeply into our unconscious. So often when we go to think, it is in images, and dreams have such power over us, and other people's descriptions to us, and in movies and in poetry, we start off listening to some words and suddenly we're flowing into seeing things in the mind's eye, feeling as though we're there, recovering some of the experiences or discovering some of the experiences of others in a very 3D virtual inner reality sort of way. Imagery may be the only way that we can accomplish that. In my mind, there are several forms of comfort, and we've all experienced each of these forms. The first one is introspective comfort, which certainly is a joy and something I have learned a great deal from. In fact, I couldn't be doing any of this work without knowing introspective comfort. It's when we can sit quietly, we have control of our environment, we can focus downward or inward, focus on a book, movie, art, something of that nature. But I'm not speaking of that one today. This is a type of comfort that we all seek, and it is one for self-healing. It is one that we find ourselves in when we feel as though we've had too much of the world, and we go and we want to be left alone. It's different than quiet introspection. We basically are there, to regather ourselves, to regroup, to heal. I hate to use the term lick our wounds, but it's in response to being in the world either too much, or perhaps the world has not been as kind to us as we were hoping for that particular day or that week. Maybe we're facing burnout. You can see the subject here representing comfort is alone, is in a quiet spot, but she has a chain that's around her wrist that extends down by her feet. And to me, that it means that yes, she has solitude, but she's still chained to something. And I would say we're still chained to the external world when we are hiding out. Nothing against this form of comfort, but I'm not focusing on this form of comfort today. Zoned out comfort. Here the shepherd is resting with the dog and resting with a bottle of, I assume, wine. We might be resting with sweets or something else that allows us just to say, I can't think anymore. I don't want to think anymore. I'm just here now, but I'm not really connected with much at all. I'm doing something basic and I'm checked out. Again, that's not the form of comfort that I'm saying that we should develop our first form of imagery around, but I'm looking for something else. When I mention comfort or comfortable, people mention taking a bath. People mention being, in deep, buried into their blankets. That's great, and it's very sensory, and it's very enveloping, and it's very inviting and warming. Again, feel free to develop imagery around it. I think it's very healing. I think it's very necessary. I think it's great, one of the great joys of life, but let's go on. At last, we're at the form of comfort for today. It's some of all the previous, but it's an alert comfort that we are open, open to seeing and hearing and experiencing, but we're relaxed. We have a positive uplift, that we're feeling more positive about the world and positive about the moment. It's a moment of opportunity. We're not looking for anything special, but we have a calm receptiveness, a calm, positively uplifted attention or awareness. That, I think, is a great thing to have. It's something that we can turn to again and again. And if we develop imagery, we will be able to evoke more of that when we need it. I think it's a great baseline. I think it's a great background. A background away from the negativity that we may have cultivated or has been forced upon us. A background better than even being neutral. It's calm alertness. So that is our target. That is the imagery that we will be building for today. Okay, now that we've gotten the listing of the types of comfort out of the way, including the one that's our target for today, now it's time for you to work. It's time for you to build your own imagery. To do your memory work, step one, where and when have you experienced this sort of comfort before? A few things may come to mind right away, or you may not have a clear memory for similar sort of experiences. So it may be a collection of pieces here and there, or you just may need a bit more time. If that's the case, off and on today, ask yourself, when have I experienced that alert, relaxed comfort that's positive for you? And write down what you can. Many people start off slow, but then they give it some thought. They can think of a place, they can think of a time, they can think about maybe being around certain types of people, or being around pets, or being in a bike shop or bookstore. Where are the places that give you that positive uplift? And I find used bookstores, I find city walks are the best examples, or times on vacation where I'm basically doing city walks and going to bookstores. There may be times that you've been in nature that you would say this is why you go there, for that relaxed but alert comfort. There may be special activities that you do, any number of things, calling a specific friend that puts you in that place. List everything that you can remember that may be a good expression of this particular type of comfortable place, comfortable time, comfortable person, comfortable experience. Step two, go ahead and take your longer list, feel your way through, and that's the best and deepest way of doing this, is take time, work with what you have on the list, and go back in your memory, experience a little bit of everything that you have there, one at a time, and see which ones resonate with you, which ones capture you the fastest or the deepest, or seem to click the best for you. That will be your short list. Step one was make the long list. Step two is to make the short list. Step three, the most effective way of doing this is to have a place where you always begin when you want to go into this experience. So if it's a city walk, for me, it's a specific corner of a specific time and kind of day. That's where I need to begin again and again and again. And really, as I practice it, and all these things require practice, all this imagery work for your library, I need to start that same place, get it down in detail. Where would be a starting point on your short list? Narrow it down even more. What specific point of an experience? Maybe it is being in a bookstore. Which bookstore? What time of day? What did it feel like? What did it look like? Where are you in that store when you start off? Is it opening the door? Is it in a specific row? Is it in front of the checkout counter? Is it in the back? Is it near some chairs? What specific point of that experience, where can you begin? In this step, now you have a beginning place. Really practice it. Bring yourself to that place, that when, in those circumstances. Take the time to ask questions like, what time of day is it? What do I notice around me? How do I know I'm really there? Meaning, what would the sounds be like? What would the smells be like? What would the sensations be like? Not only what they would be like, but what were they when you were there last? As best as you can remember, what were they like? If you're missing some details, it's okay to put in what I call practical details, which would be something that fits the situation, fits the context that you're bringing up. So in this step, we are bringing in senses, we're bringing in clarity of vision, but when we bring in those senses, it's senses beyond just seeing the where and the when. It's bringing in what would you hear, maybe what you would touch, what you might smell, what you might taste, and so forth. In this last step, we want to bring in the feeling tone. It should already be happening to you. If you step into your memory, or if the memory is strong enough, or you're able to do practical recreation of it, then you will have all that you need. Everything is in place. Now we need to immerse ourselves to the point we feel ourselves there and feel ourselves in a sensory way, but also emotionally. We're starting to feel that alertness that place gives us, that time gives us. We're feeling the emotional uplift, the positivity, and it doesn't have to be overwhelming, but we have to feel good about it. And maybe other things are coming to mind that we associate with it. Friends, ideas, feelings, sensations in our body. We want to step in and immerse ourselves in that. We need this level of immersion if the imagery is going to work fully for us. It will work for us if we do less than an immersive sort of experience. But the best way is to be able to call up this imagery, allow ourselves to go into it, and feel more and more of it surrounding us, enveloping us, and more of ourselves participating and giving ourselves to the experience. And I should say, when we practice, we need to bring that level of commitment to that. We'll take enough time and enough effort. Even though we may be feeling differently, we may have other things to do, and we are practicing, take enough time to practice so you can get a touch of at least that immersive feeling of being there, of having the same sort of experience, or having the experience in a bigger way. Do that level of practice, and you'll find when you want to have this, pull this out of your library, a comfortable place, the immersive experience will come up for you, and doors will open and new experiences will happen. You will have the benefits, the full benefits of imagery. That's it for today. That's your imagery work. That's your piece of your library as you build it out. This is Gary Goodwin, founder of the Armchair Dreamer, and I will see you next time. Thank you.